access from the comfort of your home so you can catch all the live action. Tune in and watch as Brazil, Argentina, Jamaica, USA, and more battle for Copa Supremacy. Tournament kicks off on June 20 and runs through to July 14. Cheer on the boys and see the goals and drama of Copa America happen live on CVM TV.
Start saving for your golden years with a Sagicor Lifestyle Approved Retirement Scheme. The time by Sagicor Life is
7 o'clock.
CVM presents Copa Facts. Chile. It took 99 years for them to win their first continental title, which they defended at the Copa America Centenario in 2016. Chile won both the 2015 and the 2016 finals against Argentina on penalties, even though they have never defeated the Albiceleste over regular time in tournament history.
Copa America 2024, brought to you by KFC. Courts.
CVM News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart NSTA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
In CVM News at 7, day 2 of Cartel and co-accused appeal. Outcomes of crunch talks in transport sector, and from Gordon House to King's House, Valerie Curtis's new role. Also this evening, Malahoo Fort hits back at critique of Constitutional Reform Committee. In the business report, Omni Industries listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And in sports, Reggae Boys Copa Squad to be named live on CVM.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Stephen McHugh.
And I'm Carolyn Brown. It's Tuesday, the 11th of June, 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. The reputed Don of the volatile Mountain View area in Kingston is dead. He was gunned down along Wynwood Road during a brazen daylight attack. CVM News understands his alias is Dangles. Our sources also say the incident is connected to a stolen Axio motor car.
Eyewitnesses report that two men on a motorcycle rode up alongside the vehicle in which Dangles was traveling and opened fire. First responders say he was shot several times and the vehicle subsequently crashed. The scene was still being processed up to late afternoon, and police sources indicate that there will be a heavy police presence in Mountain View and surrounding areas as the lawmen anticipate acts of retaliation. We will have more in subsequent newscasts.
Meanwhile, on day 2 of the hearing to determine if famed entertainer Vybz Kartel and 3 co-accused will be released, one defense attorney outlined the risks of granting a retrial.
The men have been in custody since 2011 for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. Their conviction was quashed earlier this year by the UK-based Privy Council. Our reporter Natalia Clark was back in court. And we will have that story for you a little later on. Constitutional Affairs Minister Marlene Malahoo Fort today made a strong case for a phased approach to constitutional reform, addressing recent criticisms and emphasizing the importance of bipartisanship. Our reporter Ramon Gordon has the latest developments in Jamaica's transition to republic status. And we do apologize for the absence of this story. Colin?
Thank you. In this development, former Gordon House clerk Valerie Curtis has found a new place of service in King's House. The announcement of this designation comes only 2 months after her retirement from public service in the Parliament. We have more in this report from Courtney Lewis.
Following her controversial retirement in April, long-standing civil servant and former Gordon House clerk Valerie Curtis is now the new senior executive assistant at King's House. It's been reported that Ms. Curtis has been in her new role for a month. Curtis's departure from her role in the House of Representatives came after a harsh reprimand from Speaker of the House Juliet Holness for failing to comply with her rulings about tabling special audit reports. At the time, Curtis claimed nothing short of an apology would be accepted from Holness. In serving the Governor General, her new role involves administrative and managerial responsibilities, including overseeing the Governor General's diaries, developing operational plans and budgets, and supervising the private secretary to the Governor General. When our news team contacted Ms. Curtis this afternoon, she advised she was in a meeting and could not speak. Several calls placed to her phone thereafter went unanswered. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
Citibank Jamaica and the United Way charity recently hosted a fun day for students of the Holy Family Primary School. The bank, which has been operating in the island for almost 64 years, says this initiative is an opportunity to give back to the country and be more responsible citizens. Here again is Courtney Lewis with more.
Scores of children were given an opportunity to explore practical examples of what their dreams can look like at a recently held fun day. The event was the collaborative work of Citibank Jamaica and the United Way of Jamaica charity. It was staged in commemoration of Global Community Day. At the top of the agenda was a session designed to visually bring ideas to life by creating a vision board.
Today what we're doing is we are developing vision boards with these young kids. Vision boards that help them see a reflection of themselves every single day, establish and reflect and actually create their own goals, their own visions about who they want to be. It's really and truly inspiring to see these kids develop their own vision boards and something that they can take away and in fact use every single day to remind them that they are worthy, that they do have value, and that they in fact can make successes of themselves.
The annual outreach aids in development of leadership skills and creativity. Aside from that, the children were exposed to good role models who will inspire them to not just set their goals, but seek guidance from experienced individuals.
The children are from single household families, single parent households, single mothers, low income families are unemployed, and of course they come from communities that are plagued with violence and so forth. So we try to expose them to things that they would not be normally exposed to, something as simple as coming to Hope Gardens, many of them might not have done before, and of course the fun day. After setting your goals and creating your dream board, then we top it off with a fun day, the bounce about, trampoline and so forth. So it's practical, it's creative, and we're trying to expose them to what their future would look like and let them know that everything is possible.
The community project targeted underserved and marginalized communities with children ages 10 to 12. Courtney Lewis for CVM News.
And we now have this report for you. We're on day 2 of the hearing to determine if famed entertainer Vybz Kartel and 3 co-accused will be released. One defense attorney outlined the risks of granting a retrial. The men have been in custody since 2011 for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. Their conviction was quashed earlier this year by the UK-based Privy Council. Natalia Clark was back in court.
If you can't have a fair trial, why have a trial? That's the question put to the court by the defense on day 2 of the hearing to determine if Vybz Kartel and his 3 co-accused will be released after spending almost 13 years behind bars.
Attorney John Clark, who represents defendants Andre St. John and Kyra Jones, was the sole speaker in court today. He argues that, similar to other jurisdictions, Jamaica's justice system should adopt a practice where cases are resolved within a specified time frame.
In other jurisdictions like Barbados, the judiciary have decided that ultimately there comes a time when if our justice system can't fully try you and convict you, it will be unjust to make you go back to trial. So in Barbados, in one case, it said 8 years was too long. And we are saying that for us in Jamaica, it is fair that all Jamaicans can come to an understanding that perhaps after 8 years, after 10 years, it's too long to subject Jamaican citizens to that kind of ordeal of another trial and another cost and another expense.
This, he tenders, would compel the judicial system to act with alacrity rather than allowing cases to languish unnecessarily. While presenting his arguments before the three-judge panel, he reminded that the Court of Appeal took nearly 2 years to deliver a judgment in this case back in 2020, whereas the UK-based Privy Council this year took only a month. Clark believes these delays and their contributing factors must be addressed if a retrial is being considered.
But if we have a system whereby it is taking so long, ultimately what we'll have is that scenarios may happen whereby the guilty are walking because our system realizes that we don't have to do nothing today, we don't have to collect a witness statement today, we can do it tomorrow, and eventually it takes too long, persons become disinterested, and we have a country which is ridden with crime.
During his roughly 3-hour presentation to persuade against a retrial, he expressed concerns about witnesses being familiar with the expected line of questioning. He urged the court to also consider the availability and willingness of these witnesses to participate in another trial. Additionally, he requested that the panel individually assess each accused man's involvement.
All we're asking the court to do is examine the facts of each appellant and come into a decision as to what is just.
Attorney Isat Buchanan is representing Adidja Vibes Cartel Palmer and Shawn Storm Campbell. The matter resumes Wednesday morning.
So tomorrow we will be going specifically through most of the affidavit evidence that's already before the court, including the medical reports and the psychological reports that were done in relation to some of the appellants, to make the point to the court that it has been an ordeal for these appellants to have to wait for so long, 13 years, and that we are worried that this case may be a precedent for other Jamaicans, poor Jamaicans, who may now have themselves subjected to a system where you can be in custody for 13 years and then subjected to the ordeal of a new trial when your money is essentially done.
Natalia Clark, CVM News.
More to come on CVM News at 7 after the break.
News at 7 headlines Tuesday, courtesy of Heart and STA Trust, Jamaica's Human Development Agency.
Really good, but I'm really hungry. Can we get some juicy patties? Sure we can.
I never see a boil up patty like you.
Hey son, you good?
No, Dad, I'm starving. Can we get some juicy patties?
Celebrating over 40 years of everyday moments.
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
The new KFC Chizza Zinger, available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Thanks so much for staying with us. A video of a woman accusing the medical staff at the Falmouth Hospital of negligence following the death of her mother is making the rounds on social media. In the two-part video, the woman is adamant her mother did not receive the necessary care.
This medical system kill off my mother. Kill off my mother. And people need to know. Gloria Smith Paris, I hope you come out of pain now. You suffer.
An alleged case of hospital negligence has left a family mourning the death of a loved one. In a video shared on social media at the weekend, a woman hurling allegations against the health system identifies herself as the daughter of the deceased. She says her mother, who suffered a stroke, was waiting at the Falmouth Hospital, allegedly for hours before doctors rendered assistance.
My brother, I come out, my brother going. My brother says, sis, they say must wait until 12 o'clock. Me say, what? And a sunny Indian, my mother say, take off her clothes. So somebody have to be at her bedside. Nothing. She can't get nothing. So she's suffering, from 5:30, 5:15. The attitude, ma'am, you have to wait. I'm the only one in. If you have one doctor, they run emergency ward at a big type 4 hospital.
She adds the hospital did not have the necessary equipment to care for her ailing mother.
I said, Doc, we cannot find the IMAD pill. I said, the hospital don't have no pill. I said, what the hospital have? No CT scan, no ambulance not available, no pill. I said, what the hospital have? I said, look, my mother dead.
Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has ordered a full probe into the incident.
I have instructed the Office of the Chief Medical Officer under her supervision to work with the Regional Health Authority, Western Region, and the management of the Falmouth Hospital to dispatch a team from Kingston to support the report that will be necessary, which hopefully will involve statements both from the victims, from the family, as well as from the medical team and the management staff.
He says the matter is being treated with urgency, therefore no assumptions should be made until after the investigation.
It is important that the system responds to provide absolute transparency on what may have happened and to draw the appropriate conclusions based on the evidence, based on the information. And I've asked that the Chief Medical Officer, I've elevated to the Chief Medical Officer because I believe it is sufficiently important based on what I've heard preliminarily. But I think we should await the investigation before drawing any conclusion.
The ministry has also committed to providing counseling to the affected family.
Now, after Kingston's Mayor Andrew Swaby expressed concerns about the maintenance of streetlights in the city, the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited, JPS, provided an update on its efforts to address the problem. Ronaldo Adams reports.
The gateway to the city, plenty lights are not working. I think the last count I did was over 80 lights are not working.
Mayor Andrew Swaby raised the concerns about a seeming lack of streetlight maintenance in Kingston only 2 weeks ago. Tuesday, he received a response from the JPS on the matter. JPS Senior Vice President of Energy Delivery, Blaine Jarrett, acknowledged the challenges faced by the company in maintaining streetlights, especially in difficult communities and amidst global supply issues. Despite these challenges, the JPS says it remains committed to ensuring the reliability of streetlights across the municipality. One significant development is the planned transfer of streetlights from the National Works Agency, NWA, to the JPS. JPS says it will rehabilitate and take over the operation of 11 major lighting corridors. 9 of these are located in the corporate area and are scheduled for transfer on a phased basis starting in December 2024. The affected corridors are Papine to Ligany, Ligany to Lady Musgrave Road, Harbourview Roundabout to St. Benedict's Church, Harbourview Roundabout to Rockfort A, Harbourview Roundabout to Rockfort B, Dunrobin to Malines Intersection, and Trafalgar Road. The company is also actively working to improve the streetlight billing system to ensure accurate energy consumption accounting. Individual metering for each light is to be implemented as part of the Smart Streetlights program. This change seeks to address concerns regarding billing for non-functional lights. However, challenges persist, particularly regarding stolen streetlights and electricity. A JPS representative explained that in some communities, non-functioning streetlights are a direct result of damage caused by residents, an act the representative deems unacceptable. The JPS continues to dialogue with the Ministry of Local Government to craft a resolution. Ronaldo Adams, CVM News.
Now, as we inch close to Father's Day, many children are again faced with the trauma of fathers deemed dead, missing in action. Tonight, we shift from that scenario, however, to report on how a father, even in death, is still being credited for framing his son's career choice. However, he was a special guest for the vice principal for many a cherished moment, spent engaging the students on life in rural Jamaica, spiced with stories about the son who salutes him even in memory.
Dads remain of number one importance in our lives, I believe. They don't always get a lot of kudos, but so many dads have stepped up to the plate. Listen, no matter what is happening with you, encourage your children. They need you to be present. Fathers, don't shirk that particular responsibility. Being present is everything to most of these children.
He's one of the first on the job in the mornings and one of the last to leave in the evenings. Who is he? High school principal at Hillel Academy, Lloyd Holmes. It was only recently the educator from Yam Country, Trelawney, with 30 years under his belt, realized his now late dad, Henry Holmes, chartered his course.
He's my why. He is my why. I found out at about my early teens that actually he couldn't read or write. He traveled a lot on the farm work program. He was a deacon in the church, but nobody would know because he had memorized the Bible. But I discovered this after finding out he had a certificate, having gone to night school away and earned a certificate that he could read and write, and that is when I actually found out the Bible. But I discovered this after finding out he had a certificate, having gone to night school away and earned a certificate that he could read and write, and that is when I actually found out, and that just blew me away. And from then on, just knowing that anybody can learn if you just pay attention, if you just give them the kind of support they need.
Daddy Holmes and his wife, a retired educator herself, were parents to boys. Their last born, a girl, tragically lived for only 3 days. From those personal and emotional separations at varying stages of his life, Principal Holmes is able to extend compassion.
Where this has happened, we really want to make sure that we are there for those children who have lost their fathers, to make sure that persons like myself can be the kind of role models that will continue to inspire them, as they chart their own courses in this life.
However, as he explains, a higher level of emotional intelligence is required to navigate the nuances that come with adulthood. Fears, biases, mental health issues, navigating the thin line between the personal and the professional to create a team that's not only functional but effective. He admits what he didn't understand when he was younger, even as a teen, became apparent when he really started to bond with his father through real conversations. Senior Holmes didn't get to see his third born as a principal, as he died 2 years before the promotion. However, he was a special guest for the vice principal for many a cherished moment, spent engaging the students on life in rural Jamaica, spiced with stories about the son who salutes him even in memory.
Dads remain of number one importance in our lives, I believe. They don't always get a lot of kudos, but so many dads have stepped up to the plate. Listen, no matter what is happening with you, encourage your children. They need you to be present. Fathers, don't shirk that particular responsibility. Being present is everything to most of these children.
Stay with us for our business segment, coming up after the break.
KFC Cheats a Zinger. Crispy, spicy chicken topped with marinara sauce, mozzarella cheese, and pepperoni in a brioche bun. Available for a limited time. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Listen, I'm about to drive. Let me call you back.
Road safety begins with you.
A message from the Road Safety Unit in the Island Traffic Authority.
CVM presents Copa Facts. Costa Rica. Costa Rica have competed in the Copa America 5 times and reached the quarterfinals twice. On 4 occasions, they have been directly invited. The Copa America Centenario in 2016 was a collaboration of the CONCACAF and the CONMEBOL, with Costa Rica qualifying by virtue of winning the 2024 Copa Centroamericana. Copa America 2024, brought to you by KFC.
Good evening and welcome to the Business Report. I'm Ramon Gordon. Omni Industries Limited today made history as the first company to list on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange this year. With NCB Capital Markets as the lead broker and arranger, the company successfully raised $500 million in an offer that was oversubscribed. Here's more in this report.
Even in this difficult time, we know there is difficult time, your offer was oversubscribed. I'm sure we'll hear more about that, but for me, investors have positively responded to your offer.
It's time for your weekly tips and trends.
Inflation, the sneaky thief that makes your money less valuable over time. But fear not, your trusty sidekick, the investment portfolio, is here to save the day. By choosing investments that outpace inflation, you can protect your hard-earned money and make sure it keeps its purchasing power superhero status. Simply put, to beat inflation, you need to invest in assets that have the potential to provide returns that outpace the inflation rate. To find out how to diversify your investment portfolio and stay ahead of inflation, you might want to note these tips from Darren McGregor, Head of Investment Research and Portfolio Advisory at Barita Investments.
It's important to care where inflation is and where it might be, because we have products with various risk profiles suitable for different purposes, right? So in thinking about a holistic approach to investing, you'd want to think about allocating towards different buckets of risk. So for example, our capital growth fund is on the higher side of risk relative to our overall product portfolio, but the return expectation is higher, right? And of course, the propensity to beat inflation in the long term will be higher as well, right? Compared to some of our more stable, lower risk products. Depending on where things are, you might have a little spread over inflation. It might be a little bit lower, a little higher. But those are more of a consideration of, lower risk investments.
That's your business report. Up next is your market summary. CVM News at 7 continues with Curlin and Stephen after the break.
Furniture event, The Art of Living, at all Court stores island-wide. Shop June 3 to 30 and get up to 40% off the best furniture styles and brands for your bedroom, lounge, dining, outdoor, and more. Plus, get a free gift with purchases of $65,000 and over on 24 to 48 months credit. Shop today and pay later with Courts Ready Finance. Don't miss The Art of Living 2024 furniture event only at Courts, bringing value home. Conditions apply.
It's the biggest South American football tournament, Copa America 2024. From June 20 to July 14, see it happen only on CVM TV. And we're bringing the action straight to you. Come out to our CVM Copa Fan Central locations and cheer on the Reggae Boys as they go up against the likes of Brazil, Argentina, and Mexico. Enjoy drink specials, entertainment, and who knows, you just might leave with a prize or two. Come for the game and stay for the vibe. CVM Copa Fan Central.
Look who we have in the cut. No, today episode I got nice. Legends, Senator, my longtime brethren, the great, all-star, the king, and the man himself. Salute! You know, as man, we're not to go as specialists, and that's the pinnacle of the problem. We want some new era. That's me on the corner. Do what you love and you never work a day in your life. Lie.
You work till you win. It was pandemonium. Country people can relate to me, I talk about.
What you think about me no matter, you know. What matter to me is what me think about myself.
Man United, I don't care what man want to say.
You know, man.
Yeah, man.
You know, man.
You finished?
Yes, we finished.